Welcome, everybody. My name is Issa. I'm the Assistant Director to Student Programs and Engagement here at ASI, and I'd like to welcome you all to Beyond the Conversation with Issa.
One right for the shy, one right where I need her. The funny thing is, I'll always be single. I love me some Logan, I love me some Issa. I never get either. Them women is quick.
Sorry, that was a little early. It's a little early. So first off, I want to thank the Vice President Oseguera for all the support with this program. Without her, we would not be able to get this done, so thank you so much for your support and your office. So I want to bring up to the stage Tanya Gonzalez, who is a member of our ASI Student Program and Engagement team, to introduce our moderator and our esteemed speaker today.
Hello, everyone. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Tanya Gonzalez. I am a member of the ASI Student Programs and Engagement team here at ASI Associated Students. I first would like to introduce our moderator, Mesa Mawadala, the ASI president. She is a communications major with an emphasis in broadcast journalism and a minor in international politics. And now, I am very excited to introduce our distinguished guest, Miss Issa.
One right for the shy, one right where I need her. The funny thing is, I'll always be single. I love me some Logan.
Unique flair and infectious sense of humor, Ray first garnered attention for her award-winning web series and the accompanying New York Times bestseller, The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl. She starred in the Peabody Award-winning HBO show Insecure, for which she garnered multiple Emmy and 2 Golden Globe nominations. Ray has also made her mark on the big screen starring in The Photograph, The Lovebirds, and The Barbie movie! In 2020, Ray formed Hooray, a multifaceted media company that develops content across mediums to continue to break boundaries in storytelling and representation. Issa has also expanded her executive producer slate with the Emmy Award-nominated A Black Lady Sketch Show and the fan-favorite series, Rap Now Titans. Please give a warm welcome to Issa.
One right for the shy, one right where I need her. The funny thing is, I'll always be single. I love me some Logan, I love me some Issa. I never get either. Them women is queens me. I'm a drunk, I'm a demon. Heaven knows I'm a dreamer. I seen Taraji and Calvin, always hope I could be that. I fell in love with an actress, acting like she don't need me. Polarizing the sun, underrated again. Show business and never love you the way you love it. We come and we go, they quick to forget. So every bougie event I attend, I tell them this. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yo, look, assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent about 2 racks on handmade new rags. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap and back.
Hello.
Hello, Madam President. Thank you so much for having me. Hello, you guys.
President Barbie, it's so good to see you here.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, we're happy to have you, and I love your outfit. You look gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
You look amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we do.
What a warm welcome.
We all love you.
Y'all not
here.
tired? It's 7 o'clock. Oh, it's 6 o'clock. Okay.
It's a Thursday night. It's a college Friday night.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Well, it's so good to have you here. Thank you so much, Miss Issa, for being here. We want to thank you again, and we are so excited to have you here during Black History Month.
Yes.
Where we are highlighting a strong Black female entrepreneur, filmmaker, actress, and we just really want to highlight you. And we're going to kick it off with one quick question. But first off, this is going to be a little conversation between me and you, and I'm so excited that you're here. I'm so excited that I get to speak to you on this stage, and it's just going to be a nice little convo, and for all of our students to get to know you.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk to you.
Awesome. I'm 10 times more excited, and our students are even more excited. So first up, can you share with us a defining moment from your journey into Hollywood that really did shape the trajectory of your career?
A defining moment was for sure. It was, I think about a fork in the road moment. I have so many fork in the road moments, which are so scary, and you guys are gonna have so many of those, and you're gonna be like, did I choose the wrong prong of the fork? But I remember distinctly wanting to do this web series, The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl, that I did early on in my early 20s. And by that point, it would have been the third web series I'd ever done. Actually, I hadn't even done any other series yet. I wanted to make it an animated series initially. And I was like, ooh, nobody's doing animation, especially with black characters in this way. And I knew what I wanted the story to be. And then when I set out to do it, I was like, animation is expensive. What the fuck? I can't. So I had to like table it for a couple of years, and then I started doing other web series. But it was always in the back of my mind, like I really want to do this Awkward Black Girl series. I haven't seen, especially now on TV or in films, like this awkward black girl archetype. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make it a live action web series. And I knew exactly who I was gonna cast. I was gonna cast this girl I went to school with who was in my first web series. And by that time I had moved back from New York to LA, and she was in law school at Georgetown. So when I was finally ready to be like, hey girl, I wanna do this Awkward Black Girl web series, I think you would be perfect to star in it. She was like, girl, I'm in law school. I can't just get up and go. And I was like, oh, you're right. Yeah, no, why would you do that? So I was like, I need to make this happen. And this article came out that was basically asking, where is the black Liz Lemon? And I don't know if you guys have seen 30 Rock, but that was Tina Fey's character, and Tina Fey was this basically awkward white woman, a little too grown to be that awkward. But it was so like fun to watch her, you know? And that article scared me because I was like, somebody else is gonna see this and they're not gonna have excuses, because I kept on coming up with excuses why I couldn't do this show. And they're gonna make this show before I can. And so I had to make the decision of just like, you know, this lead that I wanted can't do it. I know this character, I'll be in it. And I was terrified to be in it because you guys are on the internet. Some of y'all write mean comments, whether you admit it or not. And I was just very scared to put myself out there. And like I also was producing my little brother's web series at the time, and he had like a musical group, and I used to see their comments, and they would be like, y'all suck, just stop making music, kill yourselves. And I'd be like, couldn't be me. And then I was about to put myself in a position where it could be me. So eventually I had to like suck up the fear and decide like, could I live with someone else possibly making this idea that I had, or could I, you know, be brave and put myself out there and subject myself to the criticism? And I chose the latter, and that ended up changing my life.
Yeah, absolutely. Look where you are now, and we're all very proud. It's amazing to see that. And speaking of Misadventures of an Awkward Black Girl, so we've been doing this series for 3 years now, and you are the most prolific content creator that we've had here. And so we've had on the stage actually ever. And so can you give us a little more background on like how it got started, like what really kind of drove you a little more to kind of expand on it and continue after as well?
Continue after Awkward Black Girl?
Yeah, like what kind of motivated you through that?
I mean, it was, first of all, I don't believe you. How many people y'all had where I'm the most prolific person? But thank you, I'm gonna take it. You said it. Put record on that, that's gonna be a little clip.
It's recorded, we got it on camera.
You. I am the most prolific, thank you. They've had millions of people on stage in 3 years. But what caused me to continue was literally like, this was my dream. So to be able to have this show that I put out there, you know, once I pressed upload, I think I passed out. I was just like, I went to sleep. I was so scared. And then when I came to, I like logged back on, and you know, I saw a lot of positivity, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. People are really, what I wrote in this first episode is really resonating with people in a way that I hoped, but I didn't imagine. And so I didn't have a plan after that. I was just like, well, I just put the first episode out. Now what? I have to have a second one. People are asking for episode 2. I have to figure that out. And because of the demand, it just put me on a cadence. And so, like, in so many ways, and I've written about this myself, like, I never stopped after that moment. It was just like every month we had a new episode the first Thursday of every month, which meant, like, in real time, we release an episode one week, I'd be writing it the next week, film it the next week, edit it the next week, put it out, then repeat. And we had 12 episodes. So I was doing that for a year straight until then it was like trying to get money for a second season. And then I got an opportunity for a television deal, then a book situation. And so I was very much like, these doors are opening and I can't not go through them. I have to take advantage of this opportunity because that door may not stay open. And I still feel like that to this day. I've been more refined in a lot of the decisions and taught myself to say no to certain opportunities because those can be time sucks. But like, you just never know when your door can close. And I always say, or I've heard rather, and I've adopted the phrase that success is when opportunity meets preparation. And so I had to be prepared to be successful, and that constantly is a mantra. Like, you just never know when something is gonna hit. People are like, oh, I wanna make a viral video, but then what's after that? Then you're chasing that same thing. You have to have a plan, and at the very least, I got lucky because I was ready to write. Like, I had more ideas in my notebook if I did more awkward Black girl ideas, and I just tapped into that, and also got an incredible team, and a team has been super essential to helping me to continue and learning to delegate and trust people.
Absolutely, for sure. And you are a brilliant storyteller. Like, you tell such amazing stories through your shows, through your YouTube series, whatever you do. And so can you share a memorable moment from your career that shaped the way that you approach your storytelling and the method that you go about creating your shows?
Sure. I have always been attracted to just really grounded stories, and I start with the audience of my family and friends. Specifically my family first. My family, my siblings, I have 4 of us, 4 of them, there are 5 of us total. They're all funny. They're all hilarious. And, my mom is hilarious too, and she used to make us eat dinner together and be like, no TV, like we're eating dinner together. And she loves to play games, so she created this game. She loves to play games so she could cheat, let's be clear. And she could do that because she's our mom and we can't protest. So she created this dinner table game called the Don't Laugh and Smile game. And the object was to be the last one standing who hadn't laughed at anyone. So it was basically at dinner table, we were all trying to make each other laugh to win. And so it honed our comedy skills. So whenever I think about anything, even in comedy, I'm like, will this make them laugh? And then also will it make my friends laugh? And then as a storyteller, I'm just drawn to, again, things that I can relate to. And I love, uncomfortable humor, awkward humor, clearly, and that has defined me. But as far as telling stories and even thinking about mediums, I learned a lesson through someone else who was kind of my cautionary tale. Shout out to her. But there's someone that I knew who had this one idea, and she was really set on making this one idea work. And I think the first iteration was really successful. But then after that, she kept on trying to make it a film and then a short. And then and none of those projects really went anywhere because she was kind of just set on, this is my one big idea. And that was terrifying to me because for me, like with something like Awkward Black Girl, there were other opportunities to take it into different mediums, but I didn't want to just be known for that. Like I wanted other ideas. I have other stories to tell. And I think sometimes the industry, when you pop or you get attention for one thing, they just want that from you. And I wanted to be very clear that there was more to me than that. And so even my approach to storytelling will vary based off of whatever project I do. And I don't want to be pigeonholed into one category. And so even moving forward and some of the other things that are coming out that I'm coming out with are in kind of different mediums and genres. But I just want to diversify and tell good stories generally.
We'll be on the lookout for all your new stuff. We're so excited for that as well.
Appreciate it.
So your work is incredible, and it often celebrates Black culture. So how do you approach the responsibility of portraying such diverse stories, but authentically?
I mean, it doesn't feel like a responsibility, you know. It's just something I want to do, and like again, I'm thinking about my family and friends. My family's Black. My friends are as well, and so it is when I'm thinking about them, I'm thinking about, you know, that particular audience, and when I'm writing about people, I'm writing about people that I know, and so in that way, it comes naturally. But even just as a viewer, there's so many stories that we have to tell, and I think we're just scratching the surface of Black stories. Just even within the diaspora, like we have not seen a lot, and I want to be part of helping other people tell those stories. And when we're talking about doors, opening the doors so that, you know, other people can come through. And there's so many people I've met who I'm fans of that I'm excited about their work coming out. But it really is up to the industry to kind of catch up. And as you guys are probably aware, like they're kind of turning off the faucet for DEI initiatives and those kind of things.
Absolutely.
So it's so important for us as creatives and people who are in positions of power and people who get opportunities to tell stories to anoint others to be able to do the same thing. And so I'm committed to it, and I know other people are too.
Absolutely. Thank you. That was a very good point as well. DEI is so important, and excuse me, and especially in the TV industry. So your work also portrays a lot of diversity, and it's very important to have representation when it comes to being on TV. So in what ways do you believe representation in media can impact interpretations of the society?
I mean, in every way. I think that the representation can open minds, especially, I think, obviously through comedy, because, you know, tensions are so high generally. But the only way, in many ways, to get people to listen is to make them laugh, because there's just something so palatable about humor. You know, if you can touch someone's funny bone, then they can be like, you know, it's the same. If you're just like, you're racist, they're like, no, I'm not. Fuck you. But if you say it, and if I'm like, you kind of racist, I kind of am. that's funny. You got me. Wow. And you know, like you get them that way. Like there's something about humor that makes people more open to criticism. And so like even in that, like there's also, when I think about, this is a dated reference, but when I think about someone like or like a show like Will and Grace, you know, Ellen walked so Will and Grace could run, and that opened up so many doors for LGBT representation, you know, and I would say, you know, there's still a long way to go even there, but there's so many shows on TV now because Middle America was able to watch that and recognize, like, oh, okay, the gays aren't so bad, you know, and that's sometimes what it takes. They're funny, you know, and it's sad, but there's so many ways to touch people through humor, and I think representation and humor kind of need to go hand in hand in many ways.
Right, absolutely. And your style is very like unapologetic and authentic, and it's really, really touched a lot of us, and clearly like we're all here for you. And so how do you balance entertaining audiences while also addressing important social issues like such as representation in Hollywood for Black women through your work?
Again, I don't really think about it. I think I thought about it initially because you know, like, I guess breaking in, people would warn me. I will say that. Like, trying to break in, one of the stories that I always tell is that, well, two things. When I was first trying to break in, I wrote a script with my college roommate, and it was an ode to 90s movies like Love Jones and the Love and Basketballs of the world, even though that came out in the 2000s, like Jason's Lyric, all these Black love stories that didn't exist in film at the time. And we went down to LA from the Bay to sell it. And, you know, we kept on getting feedback that we needed to make the script more multicultural, because it was a primarily black script. And it was very clear that was code for, like, put a white character in it, or, you know, make it multicultural means, like, it needs white voices and white characters so that, you know, it could be more mainstream and palatable. And that was so devastating, because it was just like, but this could be fine on its own, and like we're literally begging for these types of movies. We're constantly having conversations about how we miss these movies. Even to this day, to an extent, we're still doing that. And so that always stuck in my mind. And then even when trying to, Awkward Black Girl, there was a period where I knew I made it for the internet, but it was before I decided to do it, I told a colleague that I was working on it, which I typically don't do. I typically don't tell people I'm working on things, because, you know, one negative thought can just ruin it. You know, I never like to jinx it. For sure. But I went against it, and because he was pressing it, and was just like, no, tell me what you're working on. And I was like, oh, well, I'm trying to do this series called The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl. And he was like, oh, take black out the title. And I was like, oh, why? And he was trying to look out, because he was like, if people see black in the title, they might be turned off, you know, and they might try to like pigeonhole it, or, you know, put it in a category where you might not want it to be. And I was like, well, I don't want them to watch if they're turned off by black in the title, you know? And so that was, for me, that has remained kind of my mantra. There's no thought. If you're turned off by the stories that I want to tell, featuring the people that I think that are the most amazing and relatable, then it's just not for you, and that's okay. I don't make stuff for you. But I found that the more authentic you are, the more true to the story that you want to tell, the more people will tune in and appreciate it. And I love to watch things that don't center me and don't center my experiences, and I learn so much, and I'm constantly inspired. But sometimes it feels like executives forgot that, or they forget that, and they don't understand that, or they're so scared of the commercial viability that they're not prone to take risks. So it's complicated, but I'm fortunate enough to not care.
As you should. Period. That is an amazing mantra to live by. That's a great thing to live by, for sure. And so back to that topic of, like, you don't care. You want to do what you like, and you want to center your community. And that's absolutely incredible. What role does self-confidence play in that? And how do you nurture it?
Ooh, girl. Yeah. Yeah. That's built over time, I must say. Like, I literally have a show called Awkward Black Girl and Insecure. So I think might have some confidence issues, but I will say that I've never wavered about what I know people wanted to see. You know, I've never wavered about, like, knowing that there's, like, the stories I wanted to tell had an audience. And so in that way, like, I was strong in my convictions. Did I waver about, like, my talent? Did I waver about my ability to get there? Absolutely. But there was at a certain point, especially when I started releasing more episodes of my web series, and then the audience grew, I was like, this is a sign. It was a confidence boost to me, and I still never took that for granted. There's still, like, constant imposter syndrome that I face to this day, but in that scenario, it was such an affirmation that people wanted to see the stories that I was putting out, and I've held on to that in some ways that I know what I'm talking about. And but then that's constantly tested, and so, like, the self-confidence has built over time, and honestly through characters. Insecure made me hella confident because I played this character that was a younger version of myself, and even in talking about her in the writer's room, that was a therapy, and I was able to address certain decisions that I had made, and also hear people talk about my decisions in the context of this character very judgmentally, and I'd be like, well, bitch, hold on now. Hold on. But of course, kept it to myself and listened. But even in going through that, it just affirmed how much I'd grown. And so that was kind of a surreal experience to play someone I had distance from and appreciate her and appreciate that journey and come on the other side of it. And then post Insecure, you know, seeing so many people relate to that, of course, was also affirming. And it just continues. Like, I don't want to sound sad and say that I'm solely affirmed by my work, but I'm a Capricorn and that matters to me. So shout out to my Capricorns.
Got a lot of Capricorns in the
Y'all
crowd.
got here on time, I'm sure.
Well, speaking of Insecure, which, by the way, incredible show, had me laughing so hard. Really such a great show. So what inspired you to create that show, and how do you feel that it has evolved over its seasons in reflecting on the experiences of the modern Black woman?
I mean, you got to tell me on that. It's on the latter, I would think, but on for the former, like, I was inspired to create it. That story was actually crazy because with Awkward Black Girl, I got these other opportunities to create for television. One was a show for ABC where I just didn't, at that time, it was a show called I Hate LA Dudes, very much based on fact.
Who can relate?
And that was for Shonda Rhimes' company. And they were really excited about that idea. And I was excited, so excited to work with her and her company. But at that time, I'd never written a television show before. And so I was very green and eager to please. And so that opportunity ultimately didn't work out on the ABC side. But working with them was a dream and it was incredible. But I was devastated that, like, they passed on the project, and I was like, I messed up my one TV opportunity. And then HBO came along because of, again, hearing about the second season of Awkward Black Girl, and they were just like, hey, we heard that you're free. Do you have any shows you want to pitch to us? And by that time, we had 2 seasons of ABG on, just 24 episodes online. And so I was like, I'm done telling this story. But I had stories in the nonprofit world. Like, I worked in the nonprofit world, corporate, like, while I was making Awkward Black Girl. And it is, if you ever worked in corporate nonprofit, it makes no sense. And I wanted to tell that particular story. I wanted to do a workplace comedy about that. And so HBO bought it, and I was like, great. And it still had Awkward Black Girl tendencies because I was playing the character, so it was just, I had no choice. But in doing so, the development process, I included, like, my actual best friend's life, but it was a very minor character. It was still a workplace comedy. And so in reading the scripts, which took years for them to develop, at one point they sat me down and they were just like, hey, this Molly character is really interesting. What do you think about making this more of like a two-hander? And it was kind of their developmental idea to explore. And even in that version, I had like an ex in the show that I pined for, and they just really liked that kind of dynamic in the lifestyle and exploring this particular story. And so I think that I credit them as being brilliant executives because they kind of drew out, they saw what was there in the initial workplace comedy, and they were like, let's put that in the background and put you and your stories in the foreground. And that's when I started putting a bunch of elements from my life into the show. And it was so much more fun to write that. I had to warn my best friend, like, girl, I'm putting all your business in the show. Are you cool? You could be a consultant, like, just let me know. And she was like, oh, bitch, it's fine. You know, I'll just suffer for you, like, in real life. And so that sort of writing that truth inspired it. And then, of course, it developed over time. Once we started hiring writers, they were lending their stories to the show. And it just, we were able to create a series that reflected the actual Black women and the people in the room and the different ages. Like, we had a very diverse writers' room, but we wanted to tell a story that obviously centered Black women, Black people, but also felt like real stories, because they were real stories from us. And so when I think about our goal, like, we also at a time wanted to humanized us, which is so basic, but like so many at that time representations of black women were like flawless, fierce, can be waterboarded, can do like jump through superhuman. And it was just like, I'm none of those things. I don't feel like that. And so even in naming the show Insecure, that was, I remember the former president of the network after the table read was like, can we talk about the title? And I was like, sure. And he was like, when I see these women, I don't see insecure women. I see them being confident, and he's fierce and bold. And I was like, see, that's what I don't want that. I don't want that image because we're not always that, and we shouldn't have to be that. And so to break down, I want to break that down with these characters. And so once I said that, he was like, okay, insecure it is. Great. But yeah, that's like the fact that it's touching people now is incredible, and I'm just grateful that people saw themselves in it.
That's beautiful. Thank you. And your comment about working in a corporate nonprofit. I mean, I'm the president of a corporate nonprofit, and
oh, girl.
sometimes it doesn't make sense to me. So. But
write a show about it, girl. I still want to see it. I'd watch it.
Maybe. Who knows? But thank you for that. That was a really inspirational point, especially when you were talking about how you really kept the name of your show and how you really wanted to portray your community and humanize your community. I definitely, that really hit, so thank you. And so moving on about the soundtrack of Insecure, which is amazing. I need a Spotify playlist link, like now.
Easily, I got you.
Thank you, yeah. But it is often celebrated for its diversity and its relevance to the themes of each episode. So how do you and your team go about like selecting the music for the show? And what role do you believe music plays in enhancing storytelling and in the emotional resonance of the series?
I think music is everything. When I think about some of my favorite movies, I think about the songs that enhance some of my favorite moments. Like when I think about watching Spike Lee's Malcolm X, and a change is gonna come right before, Sam Cooke's A Change is gonna come right before Malcolm is assassinated. Like I can't listen to that song without thinking of that movie, and I think that's so powerful. I think about this woman's work, and it's a little perverted, but like that in Love and Basketball, like that was such a pivotal scene to Sanaa Lathan's character, Monica's journey, and the way that music was used throughout that movie was extremely beautiful. I remember that was the first movie that I downloaded every single track from, and I was like looking at the credits to be like, this is not on the movie soundtrack, let me see, what's this song? And it made me obsessed with just how music could elevate particular scenes. And then they were also, how that in turn those songs would be core memories in my own life, and I would associate, a particular song with a moment that would then be tied to my love for that TV show or film. And so I wanted that for my own show. My mantra was always, the show might be trash, but the music gonna be fire. And I had a mandate that, like, for this show, we wanted to feature independent artists, female artists, and artists from LA. So like that it had its own sound. And I missed the era where music was such a movie soundtracks. I was really missing movie soundtracks at the time, and so I was like, I want people to want to watch this show and like be like, where's the soundtrack at, and prioritize it. And so that involved like having conversations about our music budget. And luckily, like our director at the time, Melina Matsukis, she's so music heavy. She directed videos for Beyonce and Eve, and was like, we need to bring Solange as a music consultant on the show. And I was like, bitch, we need to say yes. Yeah, we do.
Solange.
Absolutely. And so she was our music consultant for the first season, and like Solange's music taste is phenomenal. And she ended up working on her own album, like, and releasing it right afterwards. So she was like, all right, bye, y'all got it. And so that was also like post her. Then it was just we hired, who was there the whole time, a music supervisor named Kier Lehman, who's phenomenal. And so we would work together. Like he would take that mandate of finding new independent artists, female artists, and LA artists, and just send me drops of music every week in terms of discovery. And I would put my own things in, and it was such a beautiful collaboration that it made me have a a passion for music supervision. There's so many layers to it. It's not just picking the music. Obviously, there's clearances and there's so much paperwork. And I'm like, y'all got that. But like when I'm imagining writing a scene or even editing something, I like the music has to be right or I can't, it doesn't work to me. The scene doesn't work. So it's a huge part. I think they go hand in hand. And I'm glad that people mess with it.
For sure. I still listen to a lot of the songs from the show.
Yes.
Yes. Beautiful. So with the increasing influence of a lot of different streaming platforms and lots of digital media out there, how do you think the landscape of storytelling is evolving? And what opportunities does this present for a lot of marginalized voices?
All the opportunities. I think especially when you're seeing now a repetition of history where you have so many streaming services consolidating, which means they're appealing to broader audiences, and broader audiences always mean not you diverse people, broader audiences mean white audiences. And so in that way, there are less opportunities for shows of color to exist. And so that means that there are other platforms have an opportunity to showcase what we're not seeing in the mainstream. And so when I think about the most exciting storytellers, they're all on different platforms. They're all on the TikToks of the world. They're on Instagram. They're on Snap. They're like, creating shows on YouTube or whatever it is. Like we will always find a way to tell our stories, and we will always build community around our stories. It's just a matter of having the distribution to be able to like tell these stories consistently. And right now we don't own any major distribution channels. But for me, I know that that's coming. I think that there'll just be another revolt, because this has happened too many times historically. I even on the topic of diversity, I tell the story about my mom. When I first came out with Awkward Black Girl, I got invited to speak on all these panels. But the first one I went to was a big deal to me. I was like, Mom, I got invited to speak on a panel. She was like, what, a panel? That's amazing. What is it about? And I was like, oh, it's a panel about like how there needs to be more. And this is like in 2011. I was like, it's a panel about how there needs to be more diverse like representation on TV and in film. And she was like, we were talking about that in the 60s. We were talking about that in the 70s. We were talking about that in the 80s, 90s. But I'm proud of you. And so I was like, God dang. And what year are we in right now, guys? So it is just like it's a trend. We're here, we're hot, and then we're not. And it's like we make headway, and then, it's taken from us. And I just want us to be out of a position where it's taken from us, and the only way that it won't be taken from us is if we own the shit. So on that path,
We're making that progress slowly but surely. We're making it. And so speaking of making progress and diversifying our industries, what advice do you have for aspiring actors, filmmakers who are here just starting their journeys in college?
You're sitting next to your collaborators. Literally everybody that I worked with was someone I knew, and they were the people who made it possible for me. And they were in the most unlikeliest of places. Like literally this room will be the people that you can, work with and forge bonds with forever. And also like, if you want to, and if this is your thing, make millions together. You can grow in businesses together. You can change the world together. Literally, they're right here. One of my best friends, the one that I told you, is a lawyer who I based Molly on for Insecure. Even before that, even with her busy schedule, she was in law school too. If I was shooting a music video and I was like, girl, I need, I put out this ad on Craigslist for Ho Zombies and people aren't coming up. Like, can you please come be a whole zombie? And she was like, oh, bitch, like you stay embarrassing me. And then next thing you know, I see her in the video in the back, like, and that's like, that is love. She has been in every single thing I've done, and every person, don't look it up, she'll be so mad. But but every friend and colleague, because of this community, because of that bond, that's a simple bond of we went to school together at the same time. Maybe we overlapped for a year. You never know how much that means, but it means a lot. I think about literally one of my best friends in college pursued, even though she had a boyfriend, she pursued this guy who I was like, girl, I don't think he doesn't like girls. But I would go with her every day to his dorm room and was, while she shot her shot, and was always just like in the back, like, oh, she doesn't get it. Like, please, this is so embarrassing. And we didn't know each other, but because of that, and he was older than us, but literally when I was doing Awkward Black Girl,
We have to hear it now.
well, yeah, I started. But my point is that the people around me were like the first people like to be in these projects. So we'll leave it at that.
Gave me a
The
good
moral of the story is look to your left and look to your right.
to your left, look to your right. We were all very proud to be working as collaborators here. We have a ton of student leaders, and we all work together. It's so great just seeing each other on campus all the time. Whenever I run into some student leaders that I know, like, it's so great because I get to know that I can work with them in the future as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's really great. And thank you so much for that advice. And I really hope that this resonates with everyone here in some shape or form. And how do you handle criticism? That's like another big question. And what advice can you give to students who are facing some sort of challenge in pursuing their dreams?
Yeah, criticism, again, I grew up with 4 siblings, so I feel like they have said the worst things on earth to me. And so I did grow up with thick skin. So much so that like I used to read like every single comment, that came in. And I feel like I'm really discerning about being able to take the constructive criticism out. So if they be like, you're ugly and your sound sucks, I'd be like, oh, my sound sucks. I gotta fix that, or like figuring things, like really taking in what the feedback in general is. And I think that helped. Like even with Awkward Black Girl, people are like, this character Fred feels underdeveloped. And I'd be like, I gotta fix that. But then after a while, I realized that was super cloudy, and like criticism, it was clouding me, and it turned into something else. And I was just like, I could turn this off and just focus on more creating an environment of people who I trust to critique. And as I was able to build my team and things like that, then I had what I call no people, like there are a lot of yes people, which scares me, but I was very clear about making sure that I had people who were not as afraid to be like, no, or this sucks, or, let's change this. And that has become essential. Even in development, I watched from my first series to my second series, from Insecure to Rap Shit, there was kind of an expectation that I wouldn't take notes, and like that people were willing to adapt to that. And I was like, no, I love good notes. Like Gina Prince Bythewood has a phrase where she says, I'm a whore for a good note. And I agree with that. Like if you give me a good note, ooh, yes. And it's just like, anything that helps to make something better, I'm open to hear it. And I feel like I have a strong sense of, my voice now and what works and stories that I want to tell. But I think I have a strong sense for like when something needs work, and when it's not a personal attack. If someone is coming and saying that something like this can be improved, that's not personal. It's with the eye of like they just want to enjoy the experience, and we're entertaining at the end of the day. And I never want to forget that too. Like I have messages that I want to get out and themes that I want to explore, but the core thing is like I don't ever want to take an audience out of that particular experience. And I feel like that's good storytelling. Good storytellers will have you on the edge of your seat, like, ooh, what's gonna happen next? And anything that takes out of that experience, I don't want to be a part of that. So I'm open to that. And then public criticism is its own thing, that comes in so many forms. I used to like be a public criticizer. I used to talk a lot of shit online. And I feel like any comment that I see now that does the same as my personal karma. So I take that, and it just is what it is.
For sure. And definitely, like, having a support system is a big part of motivation. And
Absolutely.
is there anything else that motivates you in this really, really, really competitive industry?
Yeah, I'm competitive.
Period.
And I'm not competitive in the sense that, I want other people not to succeed. I'm very competitive in the sense that I just want to do better, beat myself. Like, if there's an opportunity out there that I think I'm good for, I'm gonna go for it. Like, wanting to be the best in the entertainment industry is dumb because it's subjective, but I want to be the best for myself. I want to know that I put my all out there, and in that way, like, it keeps me afloat, and it also is like, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket either. So it's not like I'm not just a TV writer. I'm not just a filmmaker. In some ways, I'm exploring other avenues and other channels, and I also conversely don't want to just build just to be competitive. Like, everything is with intention, and creating an ecosystem and a flywheel of sorts. But the industry is constantly changing. Things are fickle, and I've experienced that. And to me, that's also exciting. It's just like a constant, how can you stay afloat? How can you stay in it? And in that way, that is the competition to me. Like, oh, you're gonna put this hurdle in front of me. How am I gonna jump over it? Am I gonna bust my knee and it's gonna take me a while to get up? Sure, but I'm still gonna keep running. And I think that's a constant thing for me. I don't like to lose.
Period. We love that. And so I have one more question for you before we close out this night and have audience questions. So what is something that you want to tell all students before we close out this amazing night with you?
How do you guys feel? Are you guys good? I know that people always do this, but like, this is like literally your world at this point. Everything that can be changed, all the good that you want to see, all that you want to say is in your hands, and it is entirely possible. There are going to be a lot of doubters. There are going to be a lot of people who tell you can't do something. There are going to be a lot of people who try to prevent you from getting to where you want to be. But honestly, this community right here is so important, and it's so essential to believe in yourself. You are going to be your biggest believer, and I encourage you guys to do what the fuck you want to do, because that's the only way things will change positively.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
Okay, give it up for Mason. Thank you for interviewing Mason. And we're getting ready to ask some questions, so let's get some folks here. Hi, how are you? Come on up. What's your name? See, I know her already. It's a plant. What's your name, what's your major, and your question?
Hi, Issa.
Hey.
First off, happy Black History Month. I know you're
Black
rooting for
History
one black. Yeah. My name is Shayi Ali. I am a third-year business major with a concentration in entertainment and hospitality management, and I'm currently the president of Black Student Union and also co-president of Nigerian Student Association. It's such an honor to be able to talk to you. I had one question for you. Every season of Insecure, you add many pop cultural and musical references to different artists throughout. For example, in season 2, there were many references to Frank Ocean, who's one of my favorite artists. Another example being an interview that occurred between Mary J. Blige and Hillary Clinton. What is your process when it comes to integrating these references into the script, as they are so subtle, unaware viewers can miss them?
Thank you so
Sam.
much. First of all, I love your hair color. That's phenomenal. For fun. Even the first season, I remember coming into the writer's room before, like our first day, and being like, hey guys, I have this. We don't have to do it, but yeah, we do. We have to, like, I want to put Drake lyrics in every episode. Like, I want to put Head in Drake lyrics because I was obsessed with Drake at the time. And they were like, okay, hi, nice to meet you. I'm here to write on your show. But since then, it was just like, oh, we have a room of pop cultural aficionados, and they are obsessed with pop culture in the same way that I am. And so the second season, like, I mean, I love Frank Ocean just like you do, and so he was the muse. And every season I had a musical muse, and then we had an Easter egg theme that would be running throughout the season. So the first season was Drake as like the Easter egg, and the musical muse was, oh my gosh, how am I forgetting this already? I forgot who the musical muse of the first season was. The second season was the musical muse was definitely SZA, and the Easter egg was Frank. The third season was like just internet memes. We would add like our favorite internet memes in there. So like there was anybody who's seen, like, for example, Chris Brown was at a club and he thought people were like dancing super hard in the back to his song. He was like, oh, y'all niggas getting it in. And it was like gunshots. And so we were like, we're putting that shit in there. I don't know how we're fitting in there. But like anything, if you watch it again, you'll see popular like internet references. And so even fourth season, like we also had, I want to say fourth season might have been Stevie Wonder lyrics, but nobody caught that. And the musical muse, third season, it was Stevie Wonder, and the musical muse was City Girls. So it was just constant conversations about like what was inspired by our lives at that moment, but just for fun.
Thank you.
Thank you for noticing.
Next question. Okay. Yes, come on up here to me.
The musical muse was Drake in the first season. It was Drake, and the Easter eggs were Drake. Sorry.
All right, here we go. Got letter by. Hi, what's your name, your major?
Hi, my name is Jade Gavan. I'm a communications journalism major, and I'm a fourth year. And my question for you is, working in the entertainment industry, like, what's your biggest message to Black women that really have a hard time making this type of industry over the years?
That really have a hard time.
Making it into this type of industry over the past like years and decades.
I mean, Black women have been my biggest advocates, honestly, when I think about who is sharing my work, even established Black women. I remember Ava DuVernay. I was following her career, and she shared an episode for the first time, and I went to go see her movie independent of that. And like her first movie, I Will Follow, I remember going to the independent theater to see it, and she happened to be at a screening, and she was like, I've seen you before. And I was like, oh no, I guarantee you haven't. And she was like, no. And we only had like 2 episodes up by that time. And she was like, no, I saw your show, Awkward Black Girl, keep doing what you're doing, sis. And then she tweeted about it. And like that meant so much. And like Niecy Nash, I think about like my first, I love Niecy Nash. And I was such a Reno 911 fan. And I remember I got to this event and I was behind like all my heroes, like Sanaa Lathan, Niecy Nash, like all these, I want to say Angela Bassett was there, and there was like a red carpet, and they put me in that line, and I was like, this is crazy. And I saw how they were posing, I was like, I don't know how to pose, and this is not an outfit that is red carpet worthy. And so I was about to get out that line, and Niecy Nash was like, girl, I see you, stay in this line, you belong here. And I was like, okay. And the pictures were trash, but it was just, even that was like, oh, these, you know, she saw me in a way. And I think to answer your question, like, align yourselves with other Black women is so essential, because we are our biggest advocates. It's never changed in that way. And, you know, I love us.
Next question. What do I got? What do I got? What do I got? What do I got? I see you right here. Come on over here to me. Your name, major?
My name is Michaela. I'm a cinema and television arts major with a concentration in screenwriting and directing. So my question to you is, what is your advice to someone who is nervous about getting into the film industry and just the mindset of going into such a large industry with so many essentially powerful people who could easily make or break your career, sort of?
I think you can't think about them. I think you have to start small. Like even you pursuing directing and screenwriting, that's like so specific to your journey. I'm sure you have stories that you want to tell, and it really just starts with like knowing that you're the expert in whatever story you're going to tell. Nobody can take that away from you. If you're telling a story, if you have a vision for something, literally you're the only one who can do that, and that's special. And to remember that that's what you're selling. I forgot that for a while. Even when I got these other opportunities, I was like, oh, they know best. They know better than I do. And I forgot that they brought me into the room because I'm me, you know? And if you lose sight of that, then you are just like everybody else. You're kind of a group thinker. And so once I recognize like, oh, I'm an asset here. Like they brought me here for a reason. And I'm unique in that way. It became a superpower, and it changed the way that I viewed things. So just remember that you're you.
All right. Let's get a question over here. Anyone? Okay. Young man. Oh, this young man has a beautiful voice, but I've heard him sing before. Your name, your major, and your question.
Sing it, sing it.
Sing? Phoenix! My name is Phoenix Hodges. Hey, auntie. How you doing?
Hey.
I'm a fourth year, and my major is communications. I have one question for you. If you were a superhero, who would you save?
Who would I save?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, I thought it was who would you be? He said, who would you save?
Who would I save?
Thank you,
You already making me, you already putting me to work as a superhero. You don't even know my power yet. Who would I save? I know. I can honestly say I've never been asked that before. I could go the super selfish route, but I'm just gonna say it's Black History Month. I'll save us each and every time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Phoenix.
Our final question, I see some hands over here. Okay, with the flower, come on, come on.
Oh, I missed Valentine's Day
It
yesterday.
is, yes.
Thank you.
Would you like to give her that flower? Okay, come on over here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay. Your name, your major, and your question.
Hi, my name is Aislinn Suarez. My major is public health, concentration in nutrition. My question for you is, in season 5, you end up going back to Stanford, and you're talking to your college self in the mirror, and she's asking you all these questions about who you became. How did you take that leap of faith in Insecure to changing your career?
Ooh, how did I take the leap of faith during it, or what do you mean?
Yeah, like during. So you ended up switching your major and being a lawyer to throwing all these events.
Yes. So it actually in real life I did. I remember I was trying to pursue law because my dad wanted me to, and initially he wanted me to be a doctor, and I was just like, I went to a high school where I thankfully, King Drew, somebody went to King Drew. Hey, King, you better go back there. Come on, Eagle. So, King Drew was like a medical focused high school. And so I thought I wanted to be a doctor, but they put you in hospital programs, and I worked in ER and labor and delivery. And I was like, oh, I do not like this. And he was like, oh, it's okay, you can do law. And I was like, oh, okay, great, yay. And so at Stanford, I was pursuing law. Until I wasn't, and he found out at my graduation that I did not was very unhappy. But during that time, and during this time, like these schools have so many resources, and I got the opportunity to experiment and put on plays and use their money to put on plays because there are just so many grants available. And I think even holding schools accountable for these funds that they have for DI efforts or for social justice efforts, like you can, like they have so much money, take it, use all of it, and build your resumes. And that gave me the confidence. That gave me the confidence to be able to like decide like, oh, I'm good. I feel good at doing this. So maybe law isn't the path for me. So take that, Dad. Thank you so much. You're so romantic. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that was our final question, but we always have this photo op where I have the students stand up and you're standing up right here and we just take a big picture. Everybody gets to flash. So Issa's gonna stand up, you all can stand up right where you are and take a picture of Issa. How do you wanna do it?
You tell me.
No, I always have you just stand right here. I have you just stand, yep, and just wave and everyone, then you guys can do a little, but Issa will be by herself right now. Everyone, get your cameras out. Get your cameras out. And we're gonna say 1, 2, 3, Black History Month. 1, 2, 3, Black History Month. Thank you, Issa.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. Thank you so much. Y'all were honestly like the best crowd ever. Amazing questions. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.